Welcome back to Dollars and Cents with Freedman Financial on North Shore 104.9. My name is Marc Freedman. I'm president and CEO of Freedman Financial, located in Peabody, Massachusetts, where we've been providing financial planning and investment management advice to individuals and families all throughout the North Shore, the Merrimack Valley, and the southern New Hampshire area since 1968. If now's the time for you to get serious about your financial planning, about your retirement planning, I'd love the opportunity to meet with you. Our phone number at the office is 978-531-8108. That's 978-531-8108. Or you can find us on our website, freedmanfinancial.com. That's Freedman, 2 E's and a D, financial.com. Go to the bottom of any page of our website. You'll see an opportunity to put in your name, your email address, and you'll sign up for our free weekly newsletter. It's called Planning Pointers. It comes out each and every Friday at 10:30 in the morning, lands right in your inbox. We've been doing this since March of 2009. So more than 10 years. Let's see, 10 times 52 weeks a year. That's over 520 weeks of publications. We're probably more than like 600 at this point that we've done of consistent publications. We write it. This is not one of these farmed out newsletters that we just buy from some service. No, we write it ourselves. We put it together every single week for your reading enjoyment. It is not difficult to read at all. It is what I call financial advice in a language you can understand. There's 3 stories generally. Each of those stories usually no more than 100 to 150 words in each story. Then you can click on the link below if you want to learn a little bit more. But the initial part gives you enough information to say, that's kind of interesting, or nah, not interested, and you move on. We have more than 7,000 subscribers to our newsletter. It has been a great source of referral for our firm. It's a great way for you to stay in touch of what's going on at the office. Many of the things I talk about here on the radio, here on Dollars and Cents, are part of what we put in the newsletter each and every Friday morning at 10:30. So if you'd like planning pointers, if you want to get it, go to my website, freedmanfinancial.com. That's Freedman, 2 E's and a D, financial.com. Go to the bottom of any page, put in your name and your email address. That's it. And by the way, I'm not going to bug you. I'm not going to call you. Don't think that, because I signed up and I'm now going to start getting solicited by all the people at Freedman Financial. First of all the people at Freedman Financial are 5 people. That's it. And we're not going to call you. We're plenty busy. We don't need to call you. We want you to call us or reach out to us when the time is right for you to get serious about your financial planning. One of the reasons many people are calling us today and have been reaching out to us just after the first of the year is because of this new law that's been put into play called the Secure Act. The Secure Act is an acronym for Setting Every Community Up for Retirement Enhancement. I think the acronym is a bit misleading because the big law, the law falls into 3 particular areas. Let me tell you about what those 3 things are, and you tell me what might be of interest to you. Number 1, it's designed to help reduce the costs associated with setting up retirement plans for small employers. So unless you're a small business owner, doesn't apply to you really. Number 2, it creates increased access to lifetime income options or annuities inside your retirement accounts. What that means is that at some point in the future, when it's time to retire, you'll have an option when you leave the company. Rather than rolling the money out into an IRA rollover, you'll have the opportunity to take that money and turn it into a pension if you want. But I will tell you this, in order for it to be a pension of any type of value or significance, you need to have been with the company for a long period of time. So to see whether this is going to work, well, that's going to be a bit of a challenge. The reason being is that we have to see what the pension world, what the payout worlds of everything in pensions look like 5 years, 10 years, probably 20 or 30 years. So I don't know how much this new law is really going to impact people today. But the third law, the third part of the law, this is the one that's going to impact you. And it's going to be significant. The Secure Act made major required minimum distribution rule changes around retirement accounts. And that's what I'd want to talk to you about today. So there are 3 major changes to the required minimum distribution rules in retirement plans. Number 1 is the fact that effective immediately, when you turn 70 and a half this year or moving forward, you no longer have to have this trigger in your head that says, I need to take money out of my IRA. You don't need to anymore. We've pushed the age to 72. Where 70 and a half ever came from, I don't know, but it's been like that for a very long time. So now, if you are 75 years old today and you had been taking money out because you were required to take a minimum distribution from your IRA, yeah, you got to keep taking your required minimum distribution. But if you turned 70 and a half this year, you don't. You don't have to take it. You can wait until the year in which you turn 72. So it pushes it all out a little bit. Some people are going to say, Mark, no big deal to me. I need the money. I was planning on taking it. I've been taking money out before I was 70 and a half. But there are others who have planned in, I don't want to say appropriately, they've planned differently so that they said, I don't want to have to take my money from my retirement account because I know that when I pull money out of my IRA, it's all taxable to me. So maybe I had other plans as to when to take it out. And so if I don't have to take money from my IRA, I just saved myself some tax money. If that's you, great, congratulations. Let's make sure that you're planning it properly. So a lot of people are coming to us and saying, well, if I took money from my personal investment accounts or my trust account or my bank account or whatever it might have been, does that make more sense than having to take what was supposed to be my required minimum distribution from my IRA? Perhaps. Let us run the scenario. You see, one of the things that we do at Freedman Financial goes far beyond just picking investments. Yeah, we manage a lot of money for people. We manage close to $450 million for our 450 households. It's a lot of money. But frankly, admittedly, it's almost the easiest part of what we do. What's really important is helping our clients figure out the best way to grab their money, to use their money, to support themselves in retirement when the paycheck stops. You see, when the paycheck stops, you're going to get perhaps a Social Security check. Maybe you'll even get a pension check. But beyond that, you're going to say, I need more. So you're going to do one of two things. You're either going to go back to work part-time, work full-time, do something you want to do, or you're going to start drawing money from your investment accounts. But if you have retirement accounts, if you have a personal investment accounts, you have bank accounts, you might have an annuity, you might have all different types, cash value of life insurance, you could have a lot of different things. Maybe you have equity in your home. Where is the best place to take money from a tax standpoint? Because, well, it's still our responsibility to pay taxes. It's still okay to be patriotic and not pay any more taxes than you need to. Let us help you figure out the best way to draw money from your investments so that you take it out in a tax smart manner and allow you to continue to defer more money as you can. Well, that creates probably the second problem, though, that comes from this Secure Act as it relates to retirement plans. Many of us say, well, my retirement, my IRA, whatever it is, and many people, for many, your retirement account, your IRA, is the largest asset you own. Because probably for 20, 30, 40 years, you were trained to put money into your 401k. Because it was the easiest way to do it. You did it on a pre-tax basis. You allowed money to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. Or perhaps you put money into a simple IRA or a SEP IRA or a regular IRA, and you allowed that money to grow and grow and grow, not having to pay any taxes on the money until you took it out. But at some point, at your required minimum distribution date, you'd have to start taking some money out. But also, when you died, your children could receive this money and stretch out the money that was in that IRA by only taking what's called the required minimum distribution. Well, unfortunately, that rule has changed, and it changed on January 1st. So anybody that dies after January 1st, which means now and in the future, the rules are a little different. Now, any IRA that you inherit, unless you are the spouse of the individual, you are a relative, or you are a beneficiary that's within 10 years of the age of the person that died, if you're a minor child, or if you're disabled. If you're none of those people as the beneficiary, you have the responsibility to take money from that IRA over 10 years. Now, you can wait and not take any of it until year 10. You can spread it out over 10 years. You can take it out in individual installments. You can take it out in whatever intervals you want. But on the 10-year anniversary, that account has to be liquidated, and it's fully taxable. So if you just inherited, let's say, a $300,000 IRA, If you cashed it out today, you'd have $300,000 in additional income added to your total income for your taxes. You could take it out $30,000, let's say, over the next 10 years, assuming the account didn't grow. But before January 1st, you only had to take out the minimum distribution that was necessary, which might have been only 2 or 3 or 4% of the account. You see, folks, the government wants their money. They want to get their money quicker. And it's going to be a challenge. I worry about that because I see people having intentions of leaving money for their children to stretch it out over a number of years so that they can say, I want my kids to be taken care of for the rest of their life. You may not be able to do that with your IRA anymore. It's going to be up to them to receive the money and then have to figure out how to manage that money. So we want to be a little bit more thoughtful with the conversations we have with our children. You want to be sure you're more thoughtful in the way that you're doing your planning. You want to make sure that you're naming the right beneficiaries for what you truly want to do. You have to really think through the implications. Maybe it makes sense, and I'm just throwing this out as an idea. Maybe it makes sense, instead of just naming your son as the beneficiary, name your son for 50% of the money and your 3 grandchildren for the remaining 50%. Because remember, their tax bracket might be different from your son's tax bracket. You might be able to get more money out of the IRA over those 10-year periods of time. Here's another thing that someone says, well, why don't I just leave it to my minor child? Because, Mark, you just said there was an exception there. If you left the money to a minor child, you wouldn't have to take it out over 10 years. Well, here's how the rule works. Let's say you're a grandfather. You have $500,000 in your IRA, and you say, well, my son's well taken care of, and my daughter's well taken care of. I want to leave it to my granddaughter. I want to leave $500,000 in my IRA to my granddaughter, and she's 6. Well, granddaughter receives the money at age 6. Now, of course, mom or dad or someone will serve as custodian for that money, and your granddaughter only needs to take a distribution equal to what's called the minimum required distribution based upon her life expectancy, which is a pretty small number. So maybe she has to take out, let's say, 1%. I'm using that purely as a number for you to just kind of live with here. She has to take $5,000 out to use for her benefit or however she wants. Fine, no big deal. So 6 years old, 7 years old, 8 years old, all that continues to have to take out that small amount. But when she reaches age 21, and hopefully because you've only taken out a small amount, that $500,000 can be worth now $1 million. At age 21, the 10-year clock starts because she's now of majority age. How is she going to manage that? Is that going to help her qualify for financial aid? Doubt it. Not with that kind of money being left to her. But we have to think through all of the implications. See, the third part of this rule that challenges me are the people that have left an IRA to a trust account. If you've named a trust as your IRA, the trust document oftentimes says that the beneficiary is entitled to the required minimum distribution every year, and that's all. And that was really designed for you to say, I want the trust to be able to continue to manage the money on behalf of my child because I don't want them to be a spendthrift. I don't want them to waste the money. I want them to get a little bit of money, but that's all. Well, the required minimum distribution rules just went away for non-spouse beneficiaries, which a trust is one of those. It doesn't name required minimum distributions. The only rule is that it says is you must take money out within 10 years. And the only required distribution based upon the wording right now, the required distribution would have to happen in year 10. So let's say you leave money to a trust for the benefit of your child. And it was your hope to leave money so that they would get money every year. But if there are no required minimum distribution rules anymore, your child might be frozen out of that money for 10 years and then may have to take the whole thing all at once. This is a challenge that lawyers are facing right now. They know they have to rework some estate planning documents. I think you need to revisit to say, is the trust really is leaving an IRA in a trust the approach that I want to take? You got to think about that. We can help you talk through all of the options. We want to make sure that you're doing something that makes sense. Financial planning goes far beyond picking the right investments for your portfolio. Yeah, you want to have the right risk-reward structure for what you're trying to do, But all of those other ancillary ideas, all of those other pieces of advice that you need, that's what really drives your financial planning decisions. And it's tough to make those decisions on your own. We can help. We continue to do that right here on North Shore 1049 with Dollars and Cents each and every Sunday morning. We'll be right back. You're listening to Dollars and Cents with Freedman Financial on North Shore 1049.